I smell smoke, said the IT manager, by user Tanitos. So back in the early 1980s we had a printer that was showing its age and getting cranky for lack of a better word. It was one of those high-speed band printers about the size of a chest freezer and printing on 13-inch wide by 11-inch tall fan fold paper. Something overheated and started to smoke and caused a small fire. So the veteran computer operator, thinking quickly, grabbed the fire extinguisher, opened up the covers and smiled at the flames. She kept watching it for a few minutes. The IT manager opened the computer room door and he said, "I smell smoke." The computer operator replied, "The printer is on fire." IT manager had an alarmed expression on his face, thought about it for a few seconds and then exited the computer room, closing the door. They got a new printer within a day or so. That's not a tech support issue, by user Abadatha. Yesterday, I'm sitting at my desk, doing the needful of browsing MSN articles when the phone rings. It's one of the production managers. "Help desk, this is Abadatha. Yeah, they're having issues with 1108. It's by the old receiving area." "Okay. I'm on it." I dameware into it. It's running slow, but it's slow like all our Kanban machines. Kanban is running and I can see them entering the info they need and making their scans. "Okay. Well, I don't see a problem, so I put on my safety glasses and earplugs and head to the machine in the next building. I get there, find someone and ask them what was the issue. "There are birds up there," he says, pointing up at the rafters and the roof of the building's production offices and the QC office. "They keep pooping on the computer." "That's not an IT issue. Call maintenance or animal control, and quit leaving bay doors open. You can move the station if you'd like, but that's also maintenance. So, have a good day." I turned and walked back to my desk. In what world are birds a tech support issue? Did anyone get shot today? Ha ha ha, by user stalked_like_corn. So, this is from end of 2014, I worked for a company that was an outsource basically for multiple ISPs including a really bad one in northeastern US. I worked the night shift so I didn't get a lot of calls most nights. However, one night a lady calls in and said that her internet has been crappy the past few days but that she's been homesick since the day before and couldn't watch her soap operas. She hadn't watched them in years but as she was sick and would be homesick for a while she wanted to get her internet working. So we went through some steps and while doing my stuff I always like to make small talk so there isn't dead air between us. Me, "So, which soaps are you into?" Her, "A few actually. Days of Our Lives is a classic. Trying to get back into it." Me, "I used to watch that during summers. One Life to Live was addictive as well and during summer one year when out of school, I watched it daily." Her, "Yeah, that one was really good back in the day. So we finished diagnosing and it is fixed." Next day, a call comes in and she give the number and, "Oh, it's the lady again. Internet is back out again." Me, "Did you at least get to watch the newest episodes of your shows?" Her, "Yes. It's still as bunkers as ever. Wanted to watch the newest ones but internet is out again." So we talk about some of the older stories while I do what I did the night before in hopes it fixes it and it does. Next day, again, call comes in and it's her. Her, "Man, does anyone else work at this company? I always get you, ha ha ha." Me, "They do, I guess you're just lucky. Internet out again?" Her, "Yeah, I get to watch my stories but something is wrong." She proceeds to tell me the current stories going on and I fix it again and this time, dispatch a technician to go have a look as this wasn't going to work, her calling back time and time again. Her, "I hope they're able to fix it but, I might still call because no one else talks soap operas with me. Sometimes, I miss some of the customers we had. 99.9% of them were super nice and I got to chat with people about some of the weirdest things. I am going straight to hell, by user substantial term 3843. Many years ago I worked for a small independent IT shop. I am not proud of my time, behavior, or attitude during those years. It was my first job in IT, I was in my mid-20s and the atmosphere of the place was absolutely toxic. We thought we were gods when we were clowns and cowboys. All stories are around 15 years ago and to the best of my memory. Cast for this is me, my boss, client boss, DB guys, and collectively client secretaries. So one Wednesday after a long weekend off, I go back into work. My boss asks me to head down to the client site and have a look at their problem they've had since Friday. My boss has been down on the Friday, Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday to show his face and look involved. My boss, they can't access their CRM thingy, it's not our problem. The DB guys from the place that built it for them say it's a network issue, but I can ping the server and that's fine, it's a database problem. Just go and have a look for appearance's sake and we can say we're sparing no effort to look at it. Okay, off I go with the customary amount of required information to achieve my goal, easy. Me, hi everyone, so just for fun let's start from the beginning for my sake, just tell me what's going on please. Client secretaries, we can't access anything on the system, we can't see any of the appointments or make new ones. Client boss, I'm going spare, please do what you can anything please. I've got the DB guys down here looking at it too and they're convinced it's a network issue. Client bosses agitate. I get the picture. For anonymity no details, but this guy's business is expensive rates for well-off clients for bookings from an hour to a half day. All the shiny suits who spend their bank holidays in a polo shirt and shorts washing their Audi, and their trophy wives, spend a lot of money for relatively short appointments. Anything less than perfect service is an embarrassment. Client has no way of keeping track of who and when and what, they don't even know how much business they're losing. Me, okay, so let's try a few things. Tries ping from reception PC to server, works fine and it's the same for all of you. My one/many/all question, who is this affecting? Client secretaries, we can't get on but they can up in the office. What? Well this is new. My boss had not mentioned this. Around this point I see the DB guys. We are not introduced, client boss is too distracted for anything like that. But the air has changed. The situation is not as described. My professional survival instincts and ego silently exchange places. DB guys and I do not make direct eye contact but the sense of us versus them is tangible. They are on site, I am beginning to understand, after a get here now type phone call from client boss, and heads will roll today. We both glance at each other through our peripheral vision. We both know, and know they know, and know they know we know. Me, righty-ho then, let's have a look. Sure enough PCs in the office work fine. The server is in the office. Hey. I'm just going to start tracing what's going on, thanks. My traces I trace the cables. The reception PCs connect to a simple 8-port 10/100 switch which in turn connect to another simple 8-port switch in the office. Which we almost certainly sold them. For those who know, it's a Netgear. The white ones, not the blue ones. And I see it. Ote knows, I see it. Me, so when did this start? Client secretaries, after the power cut. When everything lost power. Ote knows. That would explain why the port on the cheap consumer-grade switch connecting to the reception switch is lit orange instead of green. They've negotiated the link at 10 MBS not 100 MBS. More than enough for some simple ping packets, but not for their client management system. Ote knows. Me, I'm just going to make a quick call, outside. Me, blah blah blah. My boss, oh. Me, so the fix is to power cycle it. Client boss has no idea about tech but he knows what turn it off and on again means. My boss, can you just try it? Me, Well do or do not really isn't it? There is no try. My boss, okay do it and do your best. Thanks. Really, thank you my boss. So off I go, power cycle a switch. Me, can you try it now please? Client secretaries, oh yeah it's working now. Client boss has overheard this. DB guys almost certainly have too. Client boss skips over with a hesitant but growing smile. Given the situation I can only see his face as a hideous maelstrom of panic and hope fighting for dominance and I am the face this face will question. Client boss, is it working? Me, seems so now, yes. Client boss, what was wrong with it? Every human who was once ever a child will recall a time a parent or teacher asks a question in a certain tone of voice. Every human who was once ever a child will recall that sensation of having fleeting nanoseconds to offer an answer that will be plausible and innocent enough to avoid big trouble. God's own atomic clock was ticking for me. I had nothing. I had absolutely nothing. Nothing. I've resynchronized your switch, client boss. Who TF said that? OMG it was me, what is happening? Client boss, non-comprehending head spasm, terrifying look of mad glee. One side of your switch was communicating with the other side of your switch at a different speed, I offer some hand gestures so represent something being higher than the other, so I've resynchronized it so they can talk together properly. Bring my hands level and tap my fingertips together, and that seems to have fixed it. The being within me that emerges only to protect us in times of mortal peril rests now. Client boss, but it's working now, yet. I simply smile and nod. I've learned in my career sometimes people don't want the tetchy gibberish. They want to see your confidence. They can offload their fears if you look like you know what you're doing. Client boss, grinning, okay, I'll tell these DB guys they can go home, cheers. I take my leave instantly, before I burst out laughing. I get back to the shop for a debrief. My boss's pride is wounded, but we've gotten away with it. It's nearly closing time, my giggles and adrenaline subside. Then the phone rings. The caller ID I recognize. Me, hi. Client boss. Client boss, hi, me. Me, ultra professional neutral voice, everything okay? Is there something else I can do for you? Client boss, no, I was just calling to say, and his voice drops to a heartfelt, sincere whisper. A pause. OMG, this is awful, please let this end. Client boss, thank you, me thank you. Me, no problem at all, client boss, thank you for saying that, click. I am going straight to hell. Companies deliberately make your job difficult and life hard, by user Scoldog. I work at a large car dealership. At the beginning of the year, one of the manufacturers told us we needed to upgrade our service programming tablets to newer models to handle their latest software for the service and pre-delivery departments. They threatened us with non-compliance fines if we didn't have it done ASAP. Getting electronics updated during the middle of a global supply shortage thanks to COVID was no cakewalk, and still isn't, but we managed to upgrade all of our workshop programming tablets and the manufacturer left content. Fast forward to 2 months ago, this manufacturer issues a recall notice for one of their cars. As part of the recall, they demand a sound recording for the warranty case. They supplied the workshops with microphones to plug into the tablets to record whatever sounds they need. Problem is, they supplied microphones with 3.5mm jacks. Like most modern electronics, the new tablets don't have onboard 3.5mm jacks. Aha, I hear most of you say, why don't you just use a Bluetooth adapter, or a USB-C to 3.5mm jack adapter? Well, the manufacturer thought of this. The software they use for this recall checks what model tablet you have when you open it. If you don't have a tablet that's on their authorized device list, among other requirements, a tablet with an onboard 3.5mm jack, it will refuse to run, adapter or not. The really insane thing was that the tablets we have from the beginning of the year were Samsung SMT876BS, yet one of the authorized devices on their list was Samsung SMT870, which is the same model as far as I can tell, just with slight differences. Still won't work thanks to the model number difference. After trying to get this company to understand the problem but failing miserably, I had to go dig through the tech junk pile. Like a lot of IT people, I have a pile of stuff that is obsolete but still works fine and kept just in case. I came up with a few older SMP600s, which amazingly were on their authorized list. Fired them up to make sure they were working and sent them to the service departments. So now our service departments are running tablets with the latest version of Android alongside one tablet running Android 5 for warranty purposes. The problem I have now is that each service department has only one of these warranty tablets. If it fails or dies, I can't replace it. I'm contemplating joining the Amish. Edit. A few people keep asking this question. None of the model numbers on the authorized list were upgrades from the tablets rolled out at the beginning of the year. They were mostly all downgrades. The only reason they were on the list was because they were older models with onboard 3.5mm jacks.